In today's lesson, we'll be learning about vertex form. A quadratic relation is really just a pattern, and a pattern can be represented with a graph. And when graphed, it looks like a parabola. This parabola is opening upwards, it's smiling, while this parabola is opening downwards, it's frowning. If you recall, a quadratic relation can be expressed in standard form, factored form, and it can also be expressed in something called vertex form. The value of A in standard form tells us the direction of opening, the value of B doesn't really tell us anything useful, and the value of C tells us the y-intercept. In factored form, the value of A also tells us the direction of opening, while R and S are related to the x-intercepts. They don't tell us exactly what they are. In vertex form, the value of A once again tells us the direction of opening, while H and K are related to the vertex. They don't tell us the vertex exactly. In our first example, you can see a parabola. We have its equation in standard form, factored form, and vertex form. In standard form, you can see that the value of A is positive 1. It is just not written in. Since A is positive, that means the parabola is smiling or opening upwards. And as you can see, it is. The value of C happens to be positive 15, which means the y-intercept is positive 15, and it is. In factored form, the value of A is positive 1. It's just not written in. Since it's positive, that means the parabola is smiling or opening upwards, and it is. The values of R and S are negative 3 and negative 5. If you remember, these are related to the x-intercepts, but they don't tell us exactly what they are. You have to switch the sign. So the x-intercepts are actually positive 3 and positive 5. In vertex form, the value of A is again positive 1. It's just not written in, which means the parabola is smiling or opening upwards, and it is. Meanwhile, the value of H is negative 4, and the value of K is negative 1. If you remember, these are related to the vertex, but they don't tell us exactly what it is. The actual vertex is 4 and negative 1, but you'll notice that these numbers are not exactly the same as these numbers. The negative 1 is the same as this negative 1, but this is a 4, while this is a negative 4. So as you can see, the sign for the number in the brackets has to switch. In conclusion, just be careful with the numbers in the brackets as their signs need to switch. In our second example, we have a parabola, and we have its equations in standard form, factored form, and vertex form. In standard form, the value of A is negative 1. It's just not fully written in. If A is negative, that means the parabola is frowning. In other words, it is opening downwards, and it is. The value of C is positive 16. C tells us the y-intercept, and the y-intercept here is 16. In factored form, the value of A is once again negative 1. It's just not fully written in, which means the parabola must be frowning or opening downwards, and it is. Next, the values of R and S are positive 8 and negative 2. They're related to the x-intercepts, but they don't quite exactly tell us what they are. To find the x-intercepts, you just have to switch the signs. So as you can see here, the x-intercept here is negative 8, and the x-intercept here is positive 2. In vertex form, the A value is again negative 1. It's just not fully written in, which means the parabola is frowning or opening downwards, and it is. The value of H is positive 3, while the value of K is positive 25. If you remember, these are related to the vertex, but they don't exactly tell us what it is. As you can see, the actual vertex is negative 3 and 25. But these numbers don't match these numbers exactly. The positive 25 is the same, but these two numbers aren't. The number in the bracket, the sign needs to switch to the opposite. So that is actually -3. In conclusion, be careful with the numbers in the brackets as their signs need to switch.